So many people base the whole situation on what people look like, you know.
That's it. If you sit there looking like you're in La La Land, you know, they're like, wow, I'm so impressed. Whoa. You have no ego. And of course, if you write straight to the point, oh, that's ego.
Right.
You know, that's ego.
It's funny.
They're so, you know, no clue. Absolutely clueless. But it shows. There you go. If you put on some robes, you've got ready-made followers there, Hridaya.
Yeah, I went for it with that Swami-G, but I mentioned he was completely psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That final thing, we went to eat in a restaurant, and he was screaming in the car.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that.
For 40 minutes, and then he says to me, "You hear him? And don't you tell me you can't hear him." Wait a minute.
Rest my case. Rest my case.
And then we get into the restaurant, and he seems like he's a true holy man when we get there, for sure. The Indian waiter walks up, and he wouldn't leave. "Oh, do you speak? Do you have an address?" And he's asking him, and you know, and he seemed like a holy man. Then we get back in the car, and he's screaming again for the next 40 minutes at that voice. Stuttering, and I know you're there, and he's going on like that for 40 minutes.
That's what I mean. You know, people are so caught up in these externals. Just like in India, there's one named Tatwala, you know, this one...
Tatwala Baba.
Tatwala Baba, that you remember.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't speak. And people are falling over themselves with this guy.
He looked, he was like 80 years old, and he looked like he was 25. That was interesting with him.
Which one? I think we're talking about a different one then.
Yeah, Tatwala Baba was, you couldn't miss it.
There were a couple of them that were called Tatwala.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the older one that was by the Ganges side, not the one that lived up in the Rishikesh hills. There was another one. There's another one that's on the Ganges side. Also wears the top. But
I could probably find a picture of him. He really does. He looks like he's 25 years old, and he's like 80.
He's passed now.
Mm.
I know the one you're meaning. He's the one that lived up in the Rishikesh, up the hill, halfway up the hill there, on the way to the, yeah. No, I'm talking about the other one that lives by Ganges side in Haridwar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
The one that's in Haridwar. And people are all agog because he doesn't speak. And try to explain that's not silence. That's not the silence, mon, that's being spoken about in the text. Mon means silent within. It has nothing to do with the external mouth going or not. It's talking about that inner quiet. But once again, people are so focused on externals that they're in that confusion.
I didn't know any better at the time.
Well, unfortunately, most don't. You know, they read the texts and they read at very surface level. and get wrapped up in that stuff. Just like they start with the religious things and they get caught up in all the dogmas and get caught up in all these do's and don'ts and externalizations that if I look this way, if I do that, if I'm vegetarian, I'm more holy, if I'm, all of this other drama that they take on their plate. And they just exchange one set of conditionings for another set. But think it's so much higher, Reminds me of that Saturday Night Live or whatever it is, the other thing, the guy that plays Stuart Little, look what I can do. Look what I can do. He does this guy. Because it's very, it's very childish in the end. And I mean, and we all go through it. I went through that part of trying, on the path, and one wants to look the part, and, all these externalized projections of, well, if I'm really humble, I'll look like this, and you got to be humble, and you got to be this, and you got to be that, and, one is doing all these external dramas. And meanwhile, inside, the mind is spinning and, and there is no peace. And one presents this face of, happy, oh, I'm so, oh, yes, you're so wonderful and everything, and it's BS at that point.
I've done that in the old path, same thing.
Right. I mean, we all have. I've done that, I was, like I said, I've been through all that drama. And it's not truth. It's not truthful. It's not honest. One's playing a game with themselves, and it's not real. It's almost as if one is trying to convince themselves of that. But one has to get real in order for it to deconstruct. And as long as one is playing that part, playing the part of the spiritual,
leader.
Well, leader or spiritual, seeker, whatever level it is that they're playing that game, it's a drama. It's another soap opera. It's not real. And a lot are caught in that spin of that soap opera, of ridiculous. It's another way to manufacture and run away from your staff. Another form of denial. Another form of illusion. Another form of delusion. Looks better on the surface, looks better on the surface, and some people will be very impressed with it, I'm sure. And you may be caught up in it for some time and think that, oh, I'm higher, I'm holier, I'm convinced, convinced yourself so much of that. And meanwhile, under the water, you're like the duck. And the top looks very placid, and underneath it's going like this. The feet are going like crazy,
New expression is founded.
It's just, the tap dance is on. I mean, just, It's like I said, I used to, when I was in Seattle, would go to this one store, and everybody working there was on this spiritual path, not the path here, they were on a spiritual path, and they all got the deer caught in a headlight look all the day, and like Stepford, robotic, we're all bliss, and we're all happy, and it's all love, and let us serve you, and let us be here, and then, almost like, we're so humble, so holy, so enamored of, and then behind the scenes you hear him arguing and just, the drama. And then they come back out and, yes, and we're so, it's just bullshit. Bullshit. 100%. People have a mistaken notion of humility, that it means, they think that being humble means you're going to be a doormat. I'm not worthy. Let me lay myself down and just walk on top of me. It's okay, because I'm so humble. So humble. No, humility and humbleness, you're the same, As a guru, it means, that if people come, I'll sit. I'll go out and have coffee. We'll sit. We'll talk. Whatever. I don't need a stage. I had one that was coming before when I was in Mexico. This one lady would come and once in a while, and she was a follower of Amma. Oh, Amma's so holy. She's so humble. She's so wonderful. Really, absolutely. You should try to strive to be humble like she is. Really, you think so? Okay. And you've been with her how long? 20 years. 20 years. Okay. And what do you do there? Oh, I bring the people up to the stage. Really? And she's so humble. Oh, yes, absolutely. And how much time has she actually spent with you like I'm giving you right now? Never. In 20 years. But you're telling me how humble and, how humble she is. How holy she is. Mm-hmm. And what's she like behind the scenes? Oh, she's got a temper. Yeah, exactly. You're enamored of her stage presence. She's on stage. Okay. But she's so humble, so holy. And so people, again, they have this real confusion, They want to see somebody playing a part. No, genuine humbleness is, there's no difference. There's no higher, no lower. No higher, no lower. One's enlightened, one's a normal person. They're not going to be distinguished in a crowd. That's the humbleness. That's the genuineness of it. If they're still having stages and this and that and, needing to have crowds and needing to have these accolades and all this drama surrounding them, and they allow this continued drama around them, then they're still playing a part. That's the truth of it. I'm sorry to, people are not going to want to hear this. That's the truth of it. Realization doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need a drama. It doesn't need that big show. It doesn't need that. For what? When it's won, what show? Where's the pedestal any longer? What throne? What needs a throne? There's no one there to have a throne. There's no one there to be, playing this part of, drama of humility and, dripping sweet words and all of this, It's just natural, normal. The difference in it is that there's no mind anymore going, no spin. The occlusions are gone. That's why they say before enlightenment, one chops wood and carries water, and after enlightenment, one chops wood and carries water. There are no games. The games happen in the midst of the journey. Okay, then one allows themselves to be put on a pedestal and all this other drama, you know? And afterwards, it's just, get away from me with that crap. You know, no, I don't. For what? I don't want to be involved with that. Why? You know, for what? Drama. Drama is of no interest any longer. Just not. But at that point, of course, one becomes very much less attractive. Because they're no longer buying into the spirituality show. I guess show business pays, though. Yeah. If you entertain them, look, I could have 99 Rolls Royces. I could have a golden throne. No golden throne, no Rolls Royce.
Yeah, they might argue that, oh, well, we need that money to expand, to publicize, but it's being done here without money.
Expand what and publicize what?
You know, their group, and to reach the world with their meditation, you know, so get all that money, and I don't know exactly why they justify having to rake in so much money.
They're going to save humanity.
Yeah, save humanity, that's it.
Yeah. Well, humanity is saved one person at a time. Can't do it in bulk. It doesn't work that way.
You get thrown out with that statement for sure.
Yeah, well.
That's it, get out.
Yeah, no, I don't have the popular party line, what can be said. Yeah, sure, it's easier to run around, you know, and very flighty and in oneness, in that bliss mode. It's all love, it's all, you know. What can be said? That sells. People want that projection of it's all love, it's all love, it's all love. But with that comes passion, and with that comes all the other drama, and keeps one on the wheel of karma. People just want to, I want to play, I want to have fun, I want to feel better about myself. They don't want to get off the wheel of karma. They haven't cognized the wheel of suffering. They want to try to do that tap dance and convince themselves they're not suffering. Okay, it's going to work for a time. That's all. If they want to go play that and go to oneness and dance and sing and, you know, fine, do it. I did it. I was in the, you know, Hare Krishnas and ISKCON for some time and got up every morning and danced around the Tulsi bush. Went out every afternoon. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Every day. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ite Namine Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, danced and sang all day. Did it end the suffering? No. Told stories about Krishna all day. All the leelas, all the plays Krishna was involved in. Did it end my suffering? No. Could I dance and sing now? Yeah, sure. Wanted to. Absolutely. But now there's no need. Don't need to try to convince of something when the suffering falls away and it's at an end. It's at an end. There was a lot of projection at that time, and trying to hold on to these image of Krishna and, all of this. And while the external thing was looking like, oh, happy, 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 all the time, and, doing all of this, all of the activities of that, inward there was still a suffering persona. That's the truth of it. Unvarnished truth of it. There was still a suffering persona there. Did it mean there weren't moments of happiness there? Sure, there were moments of happiness, absolutely. But one tried to convince oneself they were much happier than they actually were. Food was great there, though, I'll tell you that. During that time, since Prabhupada has passed, the food has gotten very spicy. He would have thrown the whole batch of it out if he would have been alive, and seen what they're feeding now at the Krishna centers and Krishna temples, even in Vrindavan. He'd be appalled. He would have been really upset and angry and thrown all of that food out because they're putting in chili peppers and, black pepper spices, and that's absolutely was forbidden when he was alive. And so they're not following his directives, any longer. But, yeah. No, I was there. I understand it. I played that game, played those parts, and did all of that drama. Tried to convince myself of how happy I was. I always ran around with this smile pasted, it was. Now sometimes it looks like I'm not smiling, but inward it's peace. Absolute peace. Don't need to walk around with this big, fake thing all day. Doesn't mean there's not bliss. It's not, joy. It's an inner quietude, a quiet joy. Again, people get so confused in what's there, what's not, what's real, what's not, what's of value, what's not, what's holy, what's not, what's humble, what's not. What's a genuine teacher, what's not. What's genuine tantra, what's not. So many levels, so many layers. And unfortunately, people don't have the discrimination They don't understand because they're so caught up in the rhetoric and the drama and looking for something, and have read, there's so many books out there, and so much of it is 95% of it is absolute crap, written by people that have no clue. They've read another book and then they're just going to regurgitate what they've read about. They don't have the genuine living experience of it. And because people are in the same state of mind and garbage, they'll gravitate to it because it's something they can understand and cling to. Because it's written by somebody that's in the same state of mind they're in. Oh, this sounds good, you know. So they can relate to it. But it sounds better, so yeah, that's good. Lots of drama out there.
Again, your famous, the statement you made, what good is a guru if the students are in confusion? So on this path, the confusion is quite removed.
Well, we do all we can to, to continue to cut through confusion. It takes here being, I'm not on sites posting every day, but I read every single post that comes through. Monitor it, check it. And if something's askew, I'll step in at that point. Absolutely. Do what's possible to cut through. But yeah, no, on this path, there's no, guru sitting up there on any throne that people are praying to and clinging to, a persona. And if I see that happening, I'll come in and cut that immediately because it's drama. Don't pray to me. I'm not some god and idol. Some people come and they want, give me this blessing, give me that blessing. What do I look like, Santa Claus? Really, that's some of the stuff that happens as a guru, and there are some that do that. And the only thing I say is the same thing. Grace is within you, always. It comes from within. And if you can't accept it, then what can be said? God knows what one needs. God's right there, ever present, always. So you're asking here why, So if one is going to progress, one has to begin to get real with where one is at, where one is not at, with what's taking place, what one wants, what one doesn't want, what one's open to, what one is not open to. That's all. If people are looking just to make their lives better, okay, fine. Then one doesn't need to cut through everything, just cut through some of the mental spin and get, more balanced, and then go play. Follow a bhakti thing, project outwards and sing and dance and play, and, no harm, no foul, go for it, enjoy it. If one's looking to go to realization, then don't get caught up in the external world of form and drama. Doesn't mean one doesn't work. Doesn't mean one sits there like a bump on the lob to contemplate your navel. That's not what's being said when it's said that you forego the worldly stuff. It means that one is developing vairagya. If it's there, it's great. If it's not great, one's not attached to it. One goes within. You still do seva in the world because this is needed in order to keep grounded. But one's done with seeking the things of the world, seeking them out, treasuring it, holding it, relationship, and all of that. One's done with it. So that's all. If people are coming, to this path, be clear. Does one want realization? Are they willing to forego all of this other drama? Or does one want to go towards oneness? They want the drama. They want the relationship. They want, that projection into love, and it's all love and, oneness. And they can have that, that's fine, but they will be drawn back to the wheel of karma, that's all. If one wants to project out a personification of God, such as Krishna or whatever, doesn't matter, and one clings to that and wants to play with that and go to these realms, heavenly realms, they will come back into manifestation. Very clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita. That's what happens. You go to the heavenly realms and you exhaust your good karma, and then you're back in the world again. That's what happens in the oneness and the, projection of gods and realms and all of that duality. Okay. One's still in that play of Shakti and Maya. Could be a beautiful Maya. Beautiful Shakti. Okay. That's fine. But understand, what it is. Doesn't mean that when one gets to realization that they don't see Shakti. One still sees Shakti, and it's enjoyed for what it is. It's the play, the dance of God at that point. It's very much enjoyed. It's very much seen for what it is. But it's no longer bought into as this is the ultimate only reality. It's not. There's a stabilization into that stillness that's unchanging, unwavering. And while the eyes are registering the world of Shakti going on, in the mental framework, consciousness, it's just still. There is no motion. There is no movement. The movement is happening with form alone at that point. Whereas in oneness, the motion is still in mind. Difference. In oneness, there's still the projection of world that one is engaging and loving and dancing with. In realization, there is no other. There's not a projecting outward to anything. There's just that internal calm that seeks no other. One without a second. Difference. It's a different state of consciousness, a different state of awareness, 100%. There's bliss, always here. Bliss. But it's quiet, quiet. It's not the loopy bliss. The loopy blissfulness of, oneness. I call that the loopy bliss, because of... There's nothing projecting out towards something other. That's all. So I guess we wound up with another satsang, continuing part 2. We had part 1 and part 2 today, but this is what happens when one's a guru. The satsang it normally happens in the course of daily life, always. When there's a sadhaka there and the conversation begins, it always goes into satsang, association with truth, always. There's not a time that satsang doesn't happen. When one is with sadhaka. When one's dealing with the world and, people are in the worldly thing, then that's the level it's kept at. The guru, at that point, you speak to the level where the people are at. That's all. Yeah, with people just, going and doing the dance in the class, that none of this comes up. It's kept very mundane. Nobody there knows I'm a guru. Nobody knows. It's not brought up. It's not spoken. Nothing is spoken. For what? Any words of wisdom?
No. Guess you can get quiet on both sides. You've always said if nothing's asked, nothing comes up. Well, there's nothing to ask usually.
Well, even if the mouth is moving, it's just still quiet here. And I think that's the confusion of people. They think if the mouth is talking, if the form is speaking, that somehow there is a mental engagement furthest thing from the truth. And there's nothing remembered what spoke. Here you have to go back and look at the satsang video to see what came out. Oh, I don't know. Don't ask. No idea. That's the truth of it. What was said? I don't know. Well, the mouth was talking. I don't know. What do I know? Nothing. Just happens. He's sitting there. Look at this look. Come on, you coming up? Come on. Come on, little man.
Sorry, can't see his face.
You should see his face. He's got a really cute little...
It's too bad you can't make it out at all.
Yeah, come on. You want to come over? Come on, little man. You can do it. There you go. There we go.
Hello, Raj.
There's the little boy.
Raj.
Oh, kisses. You gonna give me kisses? Yeah, giving me kisses. Oh, that's sweet. He's sharing the love, spreading the love around.
Yeah, it's going frame by frame. It's hysterical. You can see his
it's slowing down.
It's just going frame by frame. So you saw his tongue come out.
Well, you got stop motion over there.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, sound of namaste.
Namaste.